We were talking about social media earlier, and I'm just going to hire Maggie. Oh, it's a long ways from what I heard in my childhood. Oh, well, welcome everybody. This is Thanksgiving week, and I was thinking about how Thanksgiving has changed since I was a child. And we used to do it really formally, you know, be at Grandma's house, and have all the china and the silver. We can't even pass that stuff on to the new generation. Their wedding gifts and stuff are like barbecues, and they're barbecuing chicken and turkeys and stuff, and they don't want anything formal. So Thanksgiving has changed in a lot of ways, and I think, but we still do, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for, Jenny?
Everything.
Well, that's a good answer. What are you grateful for, Maggie?
I'm grateful for being alive in this fabulous universe.
What about you, Joyce?
Huh?
That's all. What about you, Joyce?
I'm grateful for community.
I like that one. Community. Bus. What do you
PLC.
There we go.
What do you say?
PLC.
Oh, PLC.
So we have all of these things that we're grateful for. But have we ever thought about what we're grateful for God? And I always talk about Thanksgifting at this time of year, which is right in line with you last week in Thanksgiving. And as I was thinking about what you said last week and where that comes into the gifts, instead of this year talking about the gifts that we are or what we bring, I want to talk about the gifts that God source gives to us. That when we use, allows us to live with Thanksgiving all of the time, to be in that flow. So I thought about what are the ones that are really important and how do I rate them? So they're not going to be in any particular order. they're just going to come. The one that I've always liked the best, and I think was the hardest to start to use, was Divine Right Timing. To really listen to myself about what I should be doing, when I should be doing it, how should I be doing it. You know, when we're kids and we have our friends that we play with and our imaginary friends, and people tell you you're not hearing that voice and you're not seeing that and you shouldn't be doing that or you're crazy, and we start to close off this inner listening that we have. And it becomes hard to open it back up and really listen to it and actually pay attention to it, because sometimes you feel pretty stupid. And I'll give you a good example, is the one that was, what took me the longest to listen to is when I'm driving down the road and the voice says, turn here. Yeah, but I'm going over there. Turn here, and then you go down a couple blocks and it goes, okay, you can get back on the road now. And I'd sit there going, oh boy, if anybody could see me now, and if there really is somebody up there watching, they've got to be having a great laugh because I did it, and I'm sitting here, and now I'm going to go back where I was in the first place, and now I'm 10 minutes later. But what I learned about Divine Right Timing is that when you listen to it, it keeps you out of trouble. I was visiting my sister when she was stationed in Ohio, and we were coming out of a gas station at night, and this light goes on and on and on. It's like this stoplight that you want to go through. And she's all hyper over here, and I finally at that point got in my mind what it was, and I said, you watch. You're going to be really grateful that we're waiting here. You'll see why. I just knew we were going to see why. So we finally get out, and she lives north of Dayton, way up out in the fields and out there where there's nothing out there. And you can go a long ways between crossroads to get out or go around. So we're going out there, and we get to this point where we can either go straight or we can angle off. And then it's straight for the rest of the way till we get to where she needs to turn. And just past that junction is a terrible semi-car accident that we would have been in if we hadn't had that waiting. So now we waited, we see the accident, we can turn off on the other road, and our life is going smoothly, easily, and effortlessly, and we're protected. And that's why timing is there, not only to protect us, but have you ever thought about when you say your prayers, you do your treatments, how's it going to come to me? How's it going to find me? And do we allow ourselves to be in the position where it can find us? Good example, you're at the airport, your flight's late. Instead of getting upset about why the flight is late or why you're sitting there waiting, start looking around for who am I supposed to meet with? Who am I supposed to see? Where's the connection? You will find them. You'll start talking to the person next to you and they say something that you need, or they're reading an article that has the answer that you were looking for. Or you help them by saying something. All of these wonderful exchanges that we're too busy to notice most of the time, that sometimes the world has to slow us down so that we can hear it. or that you have to get sick so you take care of yourself because you won't listen that you should be resting, or you're doing too much, or you're not paying attention. So we get sick and you're in bed for a week, and then you have to stay down because you can't make it anywhere between the bed and the bathroom. That's the whole thing you've got going on. But divine right timing, when you live with it and act with it, makes things easy. There was a point where I was in it all the time, and I've got to get back there because I was manifesting the things before I needed them. And then as I worked on other things, of course, I got out of sync with that, and I've got to come back there then, but it can really work to your benefit. You're protected. You're where you need to go. And I'll tell you something I did one time, and I didn't tell anybody for the longest time because I knew they wouldn't believe me. But I was late for church one day in Fresno, and I said I was on God's time and I'd be there on time, and I got to church before I left home. Well, I swear to God, it happened. So go ahead and put those expectations out there, those intentions out there. It works. When we say, Spirit, go before me to prepare my way, or follow me as a benediction, it's really out there doing it. You can really find the parking places. You can find the things, the short line, the line that opens up when you get there, because you're flowing now. And what does flowing mean? Flowing means harmony. So everything is harmoniously coming together to where you're interacting with this plane of existence that makes it work. And it really is there. It's a gift from Source that we ignore most of the time. But practice. Go back to your basic science of mind or your treatment classes. How you worked on belief. How you worked on having intention for the day to go well, for your night to go well, your speech to go well, the test to go well. I remember my dad giving me a lecture on timing, and it was about taking tests. Where are the answers? The answers are the same place that the questions are. If you've got the question, you've got the answer. Open yourself to do it. Play with that and then play Trivial Pursuit. You'll be amazed at what can come through when we allow ourselves to do it. And it's experimenting. Okay, there's the voice. Do I want to listen to the voice? Maybe you pull over for a minute and talk yourself into it. But even in doing that, you've changed the time, because when you get back on the road, you're not on the same timeline that you were originally on. The accident's going to be over there. The robbery is going to be over there. The violence is going to be over there. You're not going to be in those things because you're no longer attracting them, because you're not living on that timeline. So what's another one? Divine right order. Divine right order is when you're living in this thing's lifting. You're living in divine right timing. So things are coming harmoniously into order. You get to have these things, and you're not asking too much. You're not expecting too much. These things wouldn't be here, and they wouldn't be free if they weren't for us, if they weren't our divine right. All we have to do is, like Joanne said, ask, 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 allow, receive, get it. Let yourself have it. I remember a reading I had done one time for my youngest daughter, and they said, well, she does real well. She's got the hand out there and it's all open, but she's got a window between her and what's coming. So it's not going to be there. We have to allow it. A gift of allowance. The universe gives us free will. We have the choice. You can decide to have it or not have it. It's up to you. And it's not Source's fault what you pick. You are empowered by these gifts from Source. Empowered to have as much as you want or as little as you want. To be as miserable as you want or as happy as you want. But you have to make the choice. And for many people, that's very difficult. But remember, not making a choice is also a choice. So it would be better to make a choice for something you want, maybe, than to stay with what you've already got.